Okay, I'd like to call to order the Zion Park District Board Meeting, April 25th, 2024, to order. Okay, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Commissioner Pye.
Here.
Commissioner President.
Here. Okay, if I can get everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda? All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda. So moved. I have a second. Okay, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Kareem.
Aye.
Commissioner Pye. President.
Aye. All right, Commission, huh? Minutes, yeah. All right, I will entertain a motion that we approve the minutes as stated.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the Personnel and Finance Subcommittee and the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Zion Park District on March 20th.
I have a second. Okay, please read the roll call.
Aye. President.
Aye. All right, Commissioners' comments? I go with couple. Let's start off with the lunches that were really nice having lunch with people with the community. A good lunch, good conversation. Two, you guys move fast, which I love. I can't believe how fast that going up downstairs is unbelievable. Nice. The couple is top of the line. What you do to the floor is the real nice down there. I enjoy going down there and looking out. Your staff is so nice every time I come in. They always talk to me polite and feel like coming down, looking out.
Yeah, it's nice to see them.
All right.
Yeah, I have a couple. I am very delighted with good management. Get to speak with so many people that I haven't seen in a while, especially getting a chance to meet the new mayor of Wadsworth. And right up with good friends and other friends for over 10 years. So it's interesting in seeing who would replace him. So very touching. It's nice that they actually had a moment of silence for him rather. And also it's great to go to another event and be able to celebrate with our state rep Joyce Myers, who visiting just helping us. Like to receive an award for her community work here in the community by an organization that and also want to thank Senator Mary Young for her assistance as well in projects. One the ribbon cutting in my community was just outstanding. So many of the neighbors showed up for it. It was nice. It was nice to see the pictures out there. I want to thank Gina Roberts, our commissioner at the city level, for her, at the county level rather, for her attendance and her photos. They're greatly appreciated. Some of the different venues on Facebook real estate that was going on in the city of Zion as it pertains to the parks. And the new additions, and like Jessica said, the travel park is coming along so great and so well. So I think that's pretty much that night. And after attending a conference in Dallas for leadership, I just wanted to bring back one of the things that I was empathy. And I just want to say that I was able to just share some of the stories, some of the things that I've learned here. I'm right that Bill will be making a decision that he has been making. Because I was talking about how much we have learned to be empathetic to our community after the COVID crisis. One of the things that I think that we actually excelled in having sympathetic and empathetic to our community and getting so many services out to them and providing them somewhere to go and outlet in terms of just not being in and just focusing on that. So that's pretty much it. But I did have a very full month and hope that could slow down the pace a little bit on the next one. But that's pretty much it.
Anybody else? Okay, I'd like to let everybody know that this will be my final meeting. I'm going to turn in my resignation probably tomorrow. I will tell you that when I got on this board, I don't know. I had no intentions of going anywhere. Last place I thought I was going to move out of is in a box. I really mean that. I thought when I moved in that house, that was going to be it. I will tell you that the city of Zion is so lucky to have the park district that they have. The personnel, I mean, Jesse made it numerous times, comments. The staff is second to none. I can't thank the board members for the support and everything that we've given each other. I made it up in my mind that it's not about me, it's about us. And I think that's why this board's so successful is because it is about us. It's not about one person. I will tell you, other than retiring 32 years in the military, I've done every aspect of the Navy from SEALs to aviation to NASA. I've worked with NASA numerous times. This is probably one of the hardest things I have to do. So, yeah, thanks everybody. I just want to tell the city of Zion, we're so lucky. I just came back from New Jersey and it's a mess. The other cities there have to go to the mayor or because things, not that that's a bad thing, but other things take priority. So pretty much puts the parks at the back seat. Here, it's us. We take care of it and move things forward as we're proven. So Illinois does have a lot of mistakes, just like everywhere else. But one thing the state of Illinois does above and beyond everybody else is the way they run parks and recreation. And you know what? The amount of acreage that Zion owns and the amount of personnel that Zion has, I don't know how you guys do it. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, enough of that. All right, anything from the attorney?
No.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to unpaid bills.
Motion to approve the expenditures for the month of March 2024 in the amount of $278,758.
Have a second? Have a second. Kate, please read the roll call.
Commissioner.
Aye.
Commissioner Howell.
All right.
Commissioner Garrett. Aye. Commissioner President.
Aye. All right. Executive report there, Eric.
Yeah, just to add to what has already been touched on, the Jordan Park opening went really well. Just excited to be able to open that park. Despite a little bit of cold weather, it was a little cold that day, but I thought we still had a decent turnout. People enjoyed, hot chocolate and coffee and donuts from the donut truck that was there. Had a nice ribbon cutting ceremony and a good attendance of the community, given the weather. So really excited to open that park. I think it turned out great. Rich and his team also, kind of picked up where the installers and the contractors left off to finish everything off. We looked at all the details of the park, from trimming up the trees to refinishing the basketball courts to painting the building out there to putting mulch around the trees to really give that area of the community a really nice park that they can be proud of. And I'm happy with how it turned out. Hopefully they are too. And I think that's just one of the first, exciting projects and ribbon cutting ceremonies that we'll have coming up here. We look at some of the other projects that we've got lined up that are under construction. Again, one of those being Shiloh Park, and as Jesse mentioned, they're moving really fast out there. Landworks has been a great partner for us. They proved that when they were working on Edina Trail. They're certainly capable and have the manpower and the knowledge and the expertise to complete these different projects for us. And it's hard with the variety of things that they have to do as far as pouring basketball courts, tennis courts, trails, building park, building, actually constructing the park. And it's going well so far. Rich and I meet with them every 2 weeks, just kind of like as a check-in, construction progress update. Everything to this point is on schedule, maybe even ahead of schedule, given that there was some good weather in March for them to start working. We do have some things kind of like in the logistics pipeline as far as shipping of like the basketball standards that are going to be installed out there, the shelters that will be installed out there. But so far, those things are on track. So we do feel fortunate for that. As I mentioned in the finance meeting, David Park should be starting here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Once we work through kind of some final permitting and things. As you are all aware of, Landworks will also be the contractor on that. So that would be good as we can kind of, leverage some synergies as far as both projects going on simultaneously and have a good relationship with everyone in that organization up to the owner. I mean, we meet with the owner when we meet on site here. So when issues come up, the conversations are productive as far as, is it something that they will handle? Is it something that Rich will handle? Which Rich has been doing so far. Little infrastructure related things such as relocating water lines and stuff like that. So they're great to work with. And then the last thing just to mention is the legislative conference that is coming up in May. That conference provides a great opportunity to just network with legislators. IUPD organizes it. It's a pretty quick, day and a half, one night, day and a half conference, where there's a reception in the evening, which really provides a nice kind of informal, relaxed setting to just network with other professionals and legislators throughout the state. And then the next day is focused more on professional presentations. And there's a lot of great information that we will take home from that conference. So Jesse, Bill, and I will be attending, and we're looking forward to it.
I just hope the next ribbon cutting ceremony happens in June.
I know.
Because it doesn't seem like every ribbon cutting ceremony or any type of ceremony
it sure does.
we have nasty weather.
Yeah, it sure does.
I just hope to God that changes.
I think the next one on the agenda will be Shepherd's Crook Patio. That's the next one that we've got lined up. No, I'm sorry, not the patio, the short game area.
Short game area?
Again, kind of both Jordan Park and the short game area were completed last year, but by the time we were able to plan a nice opening ceremony, it was. We do. Alan does have a date. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. Off the top of your head, Kristen?
We do have to make a problem. The conference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of. There was a digital edition.
Yeah, well, right. So they'll give us on that second day when we're in sessions all day, they'll give us a binder or a digital edition of the material that's being presented.
Okay.
I think honestly for the three of us, I selected a binder, but we could probably have Bill give you this binder of the different material that's being presented.
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm There's a total.
No,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go for it.
And in advance, I'll make.
Yeah, yeah,
For this year, I'll be.
yeah. No, I understand. And maybe next year, and if you can keep in mind, it's usually around that first, second week of May. That's usually when I.
Okay, anything else there?
Nope.
All right. Now, I'll entertain a motion that we open the public hearing concerning the intent of the board to sell not to exceed 3 million.
Yep. You do that.
It's here in my, folder here. All right, a little slow here on the paper. There we go. Oh, you know what? Okay. Got it. All right. This meeting was called to order by the president. And,
Oh, you can just the highlighted part there. Well, that's just the public
Oh,
hearing.
okay.
Yeah.
all right, what time is it?
It is 7:18.
I'm sorry,
7:18.
7:18? Okay. At 7:18 PM, I announced the next agenda item for the Board of Commissioners was a public hearing to receive public comments on the purpose and sell not to exceed 3 million general obligation park bonds, alternate revenue source for the payment of the land amended for the purchase of parts to the building, maintaining and improving and protecting of the same and existing land and facilities of the district, and for the payment of expenses incident thereto.
Yeah. So that's the purpose of. That's the purpose.
All right.
Take it. Ask some comments.
Whereupon I ask for additional comments from the park commissioners. All right. I ask for oral testimony from any public comments concerning the purpose of the insurance of the bonds.
So yeah, nobody here.
All right. I, President, direct that the roll be called for a vote on motion.
Oh, we just. So yeah, we need a motion.
All right. So I will entertain a motion that we close the public hearing. So moved. Have a second?
Second.
Hey, please read the roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
President
Aye. All right. Good job. That was easy. Howard, what we got? Okay. Next is the concession license with Brother William to operate the Charlotte Park concession stand.
Yep. So this is essentially the same agreement that we really get into with Brother Willie every year. He has expressed an interest to operate the concession stand at Shiloh Park. We did make him aware, and obviously he can see all the construction activities out there, and he's still interested. Just because he loves to be out there and be a presence in the park and be part of the community and talk to the kids. So this is the agreement that would allow Willie to operate out there. We um, charge him $300 for the season, which essentially just covers the utilities and things. So if there's any questions on it, as I said, Willie does a great job, honestly, of going through and getting all the required permits and licenses and insurance that he's required to get. Lake County Health Department and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He doesn't do it well.
Well, what do
Well, he'll still get kids kind of coming through there. He'll obviously get the construction crew out there. He may get people coming over from towers across the street, and just people that know he's out there in general.
Watch
Yeah.
it.
Plus, he talks to those kids too out there, so that helps out a lot also. No, he, I don't want to say he kind of educates them, but he definitely talks to them. Kids love it.
Yeah, they do.
Our staff.
Yeah, staff will have lunch there now. Then we'll walk off. But back to your point too, Dave. Though it is interesting because I did have another inquiry about 6 weeks ago from someone who had asked about the concession stand and said, "Well, what if I want to operate there?" And I know that gentleman is always out there, but what if I'm interested? And I said, "Well, if you are interested, and you put a proposal together, I would take it to the park board, and then they would decide. Because ultimately, the park board is going to decide who operates that concession stand. Um, so if you want to submit anything, I'm happy to submit it to the board." He never did, but someone else did inquire, and I let them know that's really the process.
Ask you.
Yeah, no, I know, but yeah, it does come up. Yeah.
Italian restaurant out there. All right, anybody else? Okay. All right, next is the approval of the TIF funds.
Well, we need to approve his.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, all right. All right, I will go ahead and entertain a motion that we approve the concession license for Brother Willie to operate the Shiloh Park concession stand. Have a second? I have a second. Okay, please roll the roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. All right, good catch. Now we'll go to the TIF funds.
Right. So the TIF fund application, I think I put it in as a separate attachment on the email that I had sent out. And as I explained in the director's report, the TIF is the tax increment financing district that the city, the Economic Development Committee of the city will designate certain areas throughout Zion as TIF zones, which means those are areas that they have identified that they'd like to, incentivize improvement in those areas. Typically, it's for business owners, right, to improve their business, whether it's to add on a drive-through or to improve their signage or to do a build-out or something like that. So Christine and I met with City Administrator David Nabel and Economic Development Coordinator Sonaleo Brunson to ask about the potential of the Park District getting a TIF grant for David Park, because David Park is located within one of the TIF zones. And we didn't know how it would go, if it was even possible. But it was a productive conversation. I mean, we have a good relationship with them. And we really put together an idea and a plan that we thought would get, potentially approved by City Council for TIF funds. Our request ultimately in our application that we submitted was for $300,000 of TIF funds. That comes in conjunction with the Park District then abating $50,000 a year of property taxes from our levy in each of the next 3 years. So that was something that City Administrator Nagel really encouraged us to do. And I have no problem with, because everyone's focused on to do what we can to reduce property taxes. And so that was what we had submitted. And so the benefit is that we kind of get the $300,000 up front now during our construction cycle, which helps with cash flow. And then in each of the next 3 years, which we can plan for, to abate $50,000 from our tax levy. So it nets, $150,000 to the park district over that 3-year period, but provides us that upfront cash flow, and also hopefully sets a precedent, because I think we're the first government agency, local government agency, applying to the city for TIF funds. I'm not sure if that same TIF extends all the way to the high school. I believe it does. I believe District 126 building there is within that TIF zone. So this also kind of will set a precedent, hopefully, for other local government entities to say, if you're going to come to us with projects, I mean, who knows if the high school were to come and say we want $5 million out of that, if possible, to hopefully establish that precedent of, well, then here's what the park district did to get their TIF allocation. They evaded half of the amount of property taxes.
So what happens at the end of that time when they pay that could be the state?
No, it's really just a,
Or
like,
is it state?
it's just really like never asked for. It's really never requested by the
Okay,
park
yeah,
district for the county to levy.
Okay, so it doesn't go away. You have to see that tax.
Yeah, well, that based on our levy at the end of the 3-year period, right, we would change
So
whatever it's
Okay,
at.
okay.
Wait, yeah, I'm a little confused.
Yeah.
Abate 50,000.
Yeah,
And abate just means we don't, taxpayers aren't paying their
correct,
taxes out of that.
correct.
And
Right, so it means like the county will say, when they're figuring tax bills for residents, they will say, okay, to get the amount that the park district owes, this has to be the amount that each resident will pay. They'll reduce that by 50,000. So it
divided
is
by
a-
all the taxpayers.
Oh, the taxpayers, right, yeah. Okay. Right, but we don't get it in each of the next 3 years,
Right.
correct? Right,
As long as you know, four. Get it.
right, we can.
What do you think?
We had an initial TIF meeting, was it this week or last week? Yeah, so we gave our presentation. Also Lacey Lawrence from Hitchcock Design Group gave the presentation as well to explain the David Park project, what it is, cost breakdowns. There was not a quorum to actually vote on whether, there was a quorum to, it was strange because I'm on the TIF board for the city, but I had to abstain from everything in regards to that, including the vote. So with me abstaining from the vote, it didn't give a quorum to vote. So it's gonna need to be brought up at the next TIF board meeting. I will have to abstain from it again, but hopefully there'll be a few more people. I think we had 2 or 3 missing. I haven't talked to Sana Legal yet about when she's scheduling the next meeting. Hopefully within the next 3 weeks or so. So what we're asking for here, and right again, if the board doesn't approve that or doesn't like the idea, we can certainly pull our application. But we're asking for the board to approve the TIF funds application that we submitted to the city. May 13th.
All right, any commissioners have any questions about what we just talked about? Dr. King? You have any questions? I know, but is there any more? I'm still not sure. Okay, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion that we approve the gift fund application with the city of Zion. Have a second? Have a second? Okay, please do the roll call.
Commissioner Pond,
Just fine.
Commissioner Rivera, Commissioner Rivers, President Park.
Okay, next is the operating budget for the Park District.
Yep, so I've also printed that as well. Everyone has a thick packet here of the consolidated operating budget. This is the final steps as we went through our budget meeting throughout, I think it was February and March, maybe just March. But these are, again, the final numbers that we have presented over a period of time. We always kind of have to wait until this meeting because we never have the final property tax amounts. We're always working off of an estimate. The good news is that our property tax estimate that we prepared and we're working off of and prepared all these budgets pretty much came in right exactly as we expected. So any changes here in amounts to property taxes are a couple $100 at maximum within each fund. So that's always good news when we don't have a surprise that we have to go back and cut and adjust for. So honestly, the only changes that I've made to the numbers as far as what you were presented before would be a couple $100 here and there to property tax.
Any questions? I got one.
You pay
26, 26.
26, the last page of the numbers?
Yes.
Sure.
If I read it right, we are to make $14 million. I rounded it down.
So you're looking at the first column, right? And then the third number from the bottom.
Yes.
Correct. So we are projecting total Park District revenues of 14,658,000. That includes the bond proceeds.
Yeah, you got a negative of 3 million.
Correct.
That's from the bonds.
No, the negative 3,578,000
Yes.
is a drawdown of cash that we currently have. So someone might look at this and say, well, you're projecting 14 million in revenue, but 14 and a half in revenue and 18 in expense. You can't pay for that. You can't do it. And the answer is that we're going to draw down cash that we have saved in different funds. The majority of it's construction fund, right? The majority of that money, that cash that we're sitting on, is in the construction fund. But there could be, others. Yeah, for example, like Shepherd's Crook or something like that. I'd be drawing down some of the cash that it has set aside for a capital project. So that's why you see the negative.
Yeah.
That negative is basically in the bank already.
But I got a report. We will look about half. We will look about $1 million.
Yeah.
Now we look for 14 million.
Yeah, I mean, 14 million in revenues, and like I said, 2.7 of that or more is going to be bond issue, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little. You have to think about it too from that standpoint too. And also, it'll be a collection of some grant funds.
Yeah.
So when we look at this document next year, that number might be 11 million or something, right?
Yeah, but,
Yeah, but I know you're.
that is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Good.
it's a lot of money going into the park.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Lot
Right.
of money.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the final budget for the fiscal year 2024 and 2025 for the Zion Park District. Have a second? Have a second. Kate, please read the roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. All right, next is the pool heater.
Pump house.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the pump house, I'm sorry. I'm looking at something different. All right. Go ahead, Eric.
So when I sent out the packet, we had not conducted the bid opening. So that's why you should each have a one-page memo that Alan wrote that summarizes the bid. So we conducted the bid. We had to go through all the steps and all the timing, post it in the paper, let it be out for 10 days before we were able to accept bids and open them. We expected it to be over 30,000, which is why we went through the bid process. I think we expected about 50,000. And you can see that we did get one bid from Midwest Irrigation in the amount of 44,682. Initially, and obviously we'd like to have more than one bid, right? We'd like to have two, not three. But I think and I asked Alan to do this write-up just so the board is comfortable in approving the loan bid because he does have experience with this company over his many years in the industry. He's worked with them at Chevy Chase. He's worked with them at Oak Hills, many years ago. So he's certainly comfortable with their ability to do the job and do it well. So although they are the only one that did it,
When does the bill go up?
The timing of it, I'm trying to think. They went out probably right before I sent out the board packet. So we have to post it in the paper, and then it has to sit, and then we have to give it a 10-day window for everyone to submit their bids. So, they probably somewhere around mid-March. Mid-April, beginning of April. It was, the timing worked out such that we could not open the bids prior to sending this out. We had to be open on like a Monday or Tuesday after this went out. So it probably, I sent this out.
So it's
The
from
11th.
to some.
Yeah, it was probably beginning of April. But I thought Alan has a nice write-up here. And so the pump house, just to talk about like the logistics of, and Rick can probably even chime in on this too, of how Lake Shiloh's irrigation setup works. They have the pond there, which is, it's not filled by rainwater, it's filled by city water. And then the pump house draws water from the pond to the irrigation system, and then the irrigation system puts the water out of it. So this is one piece within the irrigation system, as Alan says here. It's probably 50 years old. I know Rich has a lot of experience working on it since he was, how old? 19 years old. He worked in that pump house and
Yeah.
so that's why probably hopefully the second step will be to find someone to drill a well. So once we can drill a well, then we don't have to truck city water. But this is the most immediate need at this point because it's gonna go out.
Don't use the walls between couple holes. Do you get the irrigation underneath the wall?
I would assume yes, it must run underneath.
What under the springs? A lot of floods in Black River. There's a water.
And I wonder how deep it is because I know that's one of the things that Alan's been having challenges with when he's been talking to potential drillers, is how deep they have to go to get to the water table.
I just specific to that geographical location. Because with our subdivision, we have ponds, and therefore we have to deal with a lot of water. And we know we're going to floods to get into several.
All right. Anybody else have anything? Okay. I'll go ahead and entertain a motion that we approve the pump house bid for Shiloh Golf Course.
The big South Park station upgrade, about $44,000.
Second? Second, Kate, please read the roll call.
Aye. Commissioner, President.
Aye. Okay. All right. Entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make the motion to go into executive session for the purpose of board discussion of compensation, discipline, performance, or section 2C1 of the Illinois Open Meeting Act.
Have a second? Have a second. Kate, please read the roll call.
Aye. Commissioner, President Johnson.
All right.